See, the problem in this world is people don't like to take accountability, right? Accountability, right? FBG Duck Mother, here's where you're supposed to take accountability. You had 10 kids in Chicago. You lost 5 of them. 10 kids in Chicago. You lost 5 of them. I was asked a question on Clubhouse. Hey, yo, Haas, how would you feel? How do you feel? I would have animosity. I would have a problem with my baby mother losing my children to the streets. You have mothers in Chicago, right? You have mothers in Chicago that raise children in them same streets to be construction workers, to be doctors, lawyers, police officers. You have mothers in Chicago that raise productive kids. Every mother in Chicago didn't raise a gangbanger, right? My question is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do you lose 5 children? When does it get to the point whether you lost all 5 to the street? Because you lost half of them at least to the street, right? When it gets to the 5th kid, Duck, when you get the Duck, right? When does it kick in? When does that mother's intuition or that protector that comes with being a mother say, let me get my children, my kids out of these streets? When does that kick in? FBG Duck made a song called Dead, B-I-T-C, you know, right? Where he disrespected.
We're going to get into it too.
That song cost him his life. Right? That song cost him his life. I don't think somewhere down the line that FBG Duck or his mother told him, because she got a lot to say on social media. You didn't tell your son when he made that song, dissing T-Roy, right? And all of the rest of them other dudes from O Block. You didn't warn your son to tell your son that Muwap was the Grand Reaper, that he was going to be the angel of death that came to see him. You didn't warn your son, did you? You knew the boys from O Block wasn't playing. You didn't use your voice. You wasn't all over social media trying to slow your son down. No. Then I listened to you in an interview, right? Breaking down how the police actually let FBG Duck bleed out. They did. We all seen the video. You know why they let your son bleed out? With all due respect, man, because he was a part of the problem in the streets of Chicago. And the police of Chicago, not saying I feel this way, ma'am, but the police of Chicago felt that instead of helping him to get to that 3-minute hospital, they'd rather see him bleed out before he makes somebody else's child bleed out. Huh? This is what you raised. Let's talk about it, Mama Duck. Your son, FBG Duck, said in his song, Dead, B-I-T-C, he said in his song that ever since the age of 12, we've been demons. Hold up. Wait.
Hey, this is where I'm going to jump in. First of all, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, but we got to talk about this. I've been seeing this FBG Duck Mama everywhere. It's all on my little suggested feed to check it out. And it's even people I don't even follow. It was like, oh, she was just on this interview. And even though some of these content creators I don't really too much care for, when you say something right, we got to be fair and impartial. We got to kind of give you your flowers on that. I heard FBG Duck, Mama Duck on Tommy Sotomayor's platform. I listened to the interview or whatever. I was going to play a little bit of it, but you guys can go check it out, or you probably already saw it. But here's my thought process. Listening to his commentary, I don't get to listen to it very often, but it was suggested, and I wanted to see how she was going to fare up against his type of conversation. And then listening to Hassan Campbell, and then listening to Mama Duck herself. Mama Duck takes no accountability of losing her children. I gotta say it. She takes zero accountability. Like, she didn't move after the first one passed away. She didn't advocate to stop the violence. Like, zero accountability. Now, I don't know how. I guess in the interview she talked about her dealing with one of her friends' enemies, like him recording her on the phone saying inappropriate stuff. Like, I really don't want to get into that, but my thought process is, when is enough enough? Like, at what number kid loss do you decide to say, I'm going to do something about it? You know what? A lot of people, I heard a lot of people say, well, her kids were grown when they died. This is my thought process. If your son is identifying at the age of 12 that he is a demon, that he is a hell raiser, isn't that still a child? Isn't that still the age of being a child? So you're still responsible up until that time. My question to you guys is, what was happening to make him feel that he needed to become a demon? What was happening to make him feel that this was the way to go? My thought process is, if you had 5 children, 10 children, 6 children, 1 child, then you know your environment. You understand, because it takes time for the child to be born. It's not like, get pregnant, I'm gonna have a baby tomorrow. You see what's going on. You see the violence. You see the abuse. You see the drugs. You see the gangs. So my thought process is, what would make you want to stay? That's the conversation right now. That's the conversation right now. What would make you want to stay? Now, from my understanding, her sons or her children have different baby daddies. My thought process is, what would make you want to keep? So it's not just on Mama Duck. It's on the men that's involved in the situation. What would make you want to stay in an environment that doesn't foster a positive outcome? Now, I'm listening to Mama Duck, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. You know what I'm saying? She does... she says she's like younger men. I heard Tommy Sotomayor say something, so I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. He said, how can people be so outraged at R. Kelly when Mama Duck was doing the same thing and nobody's bringing it up? That's a good point. You can't be outraged in one area, but in another area, you totally skip past what was said. So you like younger men, you're a cougar. Okay, I got it. My thought process is this. At what point in time do you say, I've lost enough children that I need to do something about it? At what point in time do you say, let me get off my ass and let me go ahead and make a move? Whether it's with the baby or not, let me get up out of here. She doesn't, to me, she don't come across as a person who, I think, well, I guess she said in one of her interviews that, the kids was kind of being raised more by the grandparents. That's another issue that we have in the black community. Let me tell you something. When your mother and father have you, okay, they're not responsible for raising your knucklehead kids. It's a generational gap. You understand what I'm saying? I know some old people, they don't even work the internet. They don't even have any damn social media accounts. So can you imagine someone that's a grandparent having to deal with the children of this generation right now? They're gonna be outmatched. They're gonna be outgunned, because kids are faced with so many things right now that grandparents would not understand. And now we know that grandparents is 20 years old nowadays, right? But they're going to be outmatched. So I'm just trying to figure out why, when your parents birth you and you decide to have multiple children, I don't care if it's 1 or 20, you didn't say, oh, grandma, you got parent duties. Granddaddy, you got parent duties. And you out and about repeating the cycle, getting pregnant again, getting high again, partying again, thugging again, doing you. I'm trying to figure out, how is it that you live in your best life while your parents raise your kids? Right. Grandma's now is 35. Grandma's now is 15. Goddamn. Shit. I'm trying to figure out, and it's like you let this slip out, and I don't know if it's because due to anger or you want to tell your story or nobody can judge you, but the thought process is if you don't believe that your actions had anything to do with your son's passing, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mama Duck. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's crazy. That's crazy as hell. Because even if you left them with the grandparents, think about this: 5 kids, 2 kids, 3 kids. You think that the grandparents can keep up with the kids in Chicago, in New York, in LA, California, South Carolina? You think the grandparents are equipped to handle it? Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you right now, you are setting your children up for failure by leaving your children with the grandparents all the time while you go and do whatever you want to go do. It is not their responsibility. And I think that somebody should pull Mama Duck. We know she's a little bit older. She kind of stuck in the ways, and they say, hey, you can't teach old dogs new tricks. But the fact of the matter is, I don't normally agree with Hassan Campbell and Tommy Sotomayor. But when you say something right, you got to say, hey, you spot on with that. You spot on with that. How can you take zero accountability? This ain't about black men versus black women. This is about right versus wrong. You see what I'm saying? And my thought process is, how do you not feel a little bit responsible? I've heard zero responsibility. Maybe if I would have moved sooner, maybe after my first child was deceased, I should have moved. Maybe I should have said, you know what, instead of trying to foster all of these relationships with different men, let me get the hell out of Dodge. Let me go to a small town and raise my children so they have a chance at life. Your son grew up to be a thug. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not sugarcoat it. Salute. Your son grew up to be a thug, and he promoted violence. And when violence came back on him, what you say, karma? You talked about karma. When it came back around, when it spun back around, all of a sudden now it's, hey, oh, stop the violence. No, people want to, guess what? People want to retaliate for the shit that he did prior to him dying. This tough love. You can't say I'm going to allow my son to wreak havoc, to cause drama, to be a part of gangs and to shoot people and to rob people and then make songs about it. Then go on Instagram and post gun. Why wasn't you an advocate for stopping the violence before your son committed any violence or any acts of violence, or put it in a song that he was a demon by the age of 12? Where was you at, Mama Duck? Now you blaming everybody, deflecting everything. It's not our children that pass. And see, I can understand why people would say, Hassan Campbell was out of line or whatever. But you got to think about it. If you were locked up, if you was in the military, if for some reason you as a dad was not around, and you as the mother, right, the first line of defense, you're around. We can call men deadbeat dads. We can say that black men ain't this and black men ain't that. But if you're there, whoever the adult is there, right? They should be able to make a decision to say, let me get the fuck up out of Dodge. Let me get up out of here. People are dying left and right. What's the party about, Mama Duck? What's the celebration about, Mama Duck? Why are you talking to your friends' opposition, Mama Duck? And my thought process is, this is when I need to see grown men and grown women. I don't care what color you is. I don't care what color you is. And I don't care what you normally do on a daily basis, what your message is. This is when we need to say, we need to stop this behavior. We need to stop this behavior, because there's no way in hell that though if you had 5 kids, do you realize the percentage? God damn, the likelihood of all 5 kids dying. Do you realize how high that shit is? And you mean to tell me no effort was made? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, before I did any commentary, I said, let me sit down and let me do my research. I know she was on Vlad TV, had over an hour interview. I said, let me sit down, take the time and put some effort in this. Then I seen this interview. Then I heard this on what the hell is that shit? But it'll come to me in a minute. It's on the tip of my tongue. But I've heard her in conversation, and not one time did I hear her say, I take full accountability, or I know that I had a major part to play in the governing of my children. You can't say, oh, it's the streets' fault. They was grown. Do you know how many streets there are in America? Don't run. Come here. Do you realize that there are safe neighborhoods in America? And it's your responsibility as a parent, as an adult, to put your kids on one of them safe streets. If you say, well, fuck it, go live your best life. It's okay that you see. The thought process is Mama Duck don't come across as a person that don't know her son's business. So you knew he was in a gang. You knew he was violent. You knew that he promoted drugs and womanizing and all of this negativity shit. So why didn't you try to stop him before it got damn turned up? He said he'd been doing it since the age of 12. So the excuse of saying my kids were grown, that's not going to fly if they say, well, we were doing this since we were children. You're not getting no passes over here. I wish you prosperity. I wish you the best life. But the fact of the matter is, you supposed to be sending this knowledge and to advocate to stop the violence, but you did nothing to advocate before your sons committed violence. So there's some other mother out there that's grieving because of what your sons did. Ladies and gentlemen, I've come to know that sometimes men are not going to agree. Sometimes their messages are going to be off. Sometimes you got to give credit what credit's due. And then sometimes you have to be man and woman enough to say, you know what's the actual problem here? What's the actual problem here? The problem is that if anybody sees Mama Duck as the victim, you're delusional. Because she had an opportunity to change the narrative. If I hear gunshots outside my home right now, right, and my daughters are in the room playing or whatever case to be, and I say, well, we're going to stay here another year just to see how this shit work out. We going to be all right. Right? We go to sleep or whatever, fucking bullets start flying through the house or whatever. My daughters come running in the room. Daddy, get down, lay down. How many times are we going to do that before we say, I need to get the fuck up out of here? I don't know if I need to go stay with cousins in Alabama, cousins over there in Wisconsin. I need to get my kids into safety. My thought process is, how many drinks, weed, party, how much drugs, how much money have you had access to where you could have definitely said, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm about to pack a U-Haul up, pack a station wagon up, get on a Greyhound bus, hop on an Amtrak. I'm getting out of here. I'm an Uber to the next state. I'm an Uber to the next state. I'm going to take this EBT card and sell some of these food stamps, and I'm going to goddamn get me a couple dollars. We out of this bitch. It's not for us to say how much we love FBG. Oh, Lord, we love him so much. He was a thug who promoted violence, who didn't mind taking the life of somebody else. So when it comes to him, my thought process is, if you live by the sword, we always talking about protecting our children. Where was the protection? I just want to be real. Let me look in the comment section right now. Am I being a little bit off right now? Like, where was the protection? I don't see it. She was like, I provided for my kids. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sick and tired. You brought this motherfucker Jordans. You brought him a new PlayStation, a new Xbox. Right? You brought him fucking jeans and you got his hair cut. Good for you. You gave him some food. You gave him a place to stay or whatever case to be. But for some reason, you didn't give him common sense. For some reason, you didn't keep him away from the fucking gangs. For some reason, you didn't pack his little ass up when he was 12 years old, becoming a demon. You didn't say, listen, I don't want you to be a part of that culture. Let me get you the fuck up out of here to give you a chance, an opportunity, so you can grow and prosper and become a productive citizen. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. But we supposed to care more about your son than you did. We supposed to care more about your children who passed away than you did. What was you doing when they was alive? That shit kills me. It kills me. And now you're upset at people giving commentary about your kid. Now, you know, Hassan Campbell kind of went to the extreme. He went to the extreme. He said some things or whatever. But I'm just being real. If I had 6, 7, 8, 9 children and all of my children got murdered, hell, if one, what are you talking about? If one, a half of one, a smidgen of one, a second of one got hurt because you failed to pay attention to what was going on around you, because you failed to bust a move, you failed to pull up and pull the fuck out, of course I would be upset. Of course I would be upset. But because Hassan Campbell said it, we got to ignore it. Because Tommy Sotomayor said it, okay, let's ignore it. Because this commentator said it, we got to ignore it. No, it is not the messenger. It is the message. Let's stop playing games. I don't care about the messenger. The messenger can be fucked up and non-perfect. But what does the message say? The message say that you should be held accountable, Mama Duck. And I don't even agree with these men often, but I do agree to the fact that you should be held accountable. Don't come back after the fact and talk about stop the violence. Because you knew for Mama Duck, there's nothing about you that showcases to me that you didn't know that your son was out there promoting violence. How the hell you gonna stand there with a record? And on that record, it's promoting all types of violence and what we do in Chicago. That's your son's legacy? I want you to think about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's your son. Are you... You left your son in a situation where it's killed or be killed. But there's nothing about you, Mama Duck, that comes across as a situation that you're not a hustler. You don't know how to go get what you want. So my thought process, if you wanted to leave that area and you wanted to make sure that your children had a better life, you wanted to make sure that your children stay safe, then you would have. You would have. Fuck all the excuses. You would have. Now, I'm not saying they couldn't have moved away and something would have happened there, but I would have said this. You would have increased the odds of them surviving. You would have increased the odds of them surviving. Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop with all the lazy parenting. Let's stop with all of we can't say anything to hold anybody accountable. I'm so fucking sick and tired of this bullshit. Every single time you hold somebody accountable, you clout chasing. Well, you talk about black men, you talk about black women. Bro, what is the fucking message? What is the message? Have I had concerns about Hassan Campbell? Yep. Tommy Sotomayor? Yep. But the fact of the matter is, when you sit back, you got to fold your arms and say, let me listen and see how this is going to play out. And the thought process is, Mama Duck, you had every opportunity to be like, look, I've tried numerous of times to leave Chicago. I've reached out to family members. I even tried to send them to go stay with their daddies. I tried to do everything in my power. Your excuse was they grown. They grew into that life. They didn't just stumble into it. They were birthed into it by the men that you had babies by. And then here's the thing about it is you said that you like younger men. I don't know when the younger man thing came in. So I don't know if you had you had babies with babies. You had people that wasn't really focused and locked in on their future to be anything other than a thug. I don't know. We're so afraid to hold people accountable because we're so afraid to stand against the fucking status quo. You gotta goddamn have 16 million subscribers to hold one person accountable. But if you got 3 subscribers, how dare you say something about Mama Duck? She's an upstanding citizen. She did nothing wrong. Who you think you is? I don't give a fuck what. I don't care what team you got, right? Football, basketball, baseball, whatever. Okay. But if you lose 5 times in a row, hold on, wait, come here. No. I'm about to piss. Listen, if you have a team, I don't care what sport, okay? Ice hockey, I don't care what it is, right? Badminton, and you lose 5 times in a row. You're not going to think something wrong. Not only are you going to look at the players, but you're going to look at the management. Mama Duck, you was the management. The strategy need to be switched up. The plays needed to be switched up. The uniform needed to be switched. The location needed to be switched up. You ain't switch it up. You said we're going to keep on doing the same thing. We're going to keep on promoting this generational curse. It's cool. Turn up. We lit. We outside. And then when it don't pay off and people hold you accountable, it's everybody else's fault. I've watched interview after interview after interview after interview, and there was zero accountability. I've seen you go on these rants of how Hassan Campbell is wrong and how this person is wrong. And let me tell y'all something. Stop. Every time you, let me talk to the women real quick. When you get mad at a man and you don't want to hear what he has to say, you promoting that he's gay is almost like hearing the word bitch now. It's numb. Like if a man is confident in his sexuality and he know, hey, I'm heterosexual all day. You calling them gay don't mean. I've seen Mama Duck call these, any man that has said something that held her accountable, they got to be gay. And I don't know why people do that. And to me, for all the people of the LGBTQ plus community, I would take offense to that. Like, don't just give him, don't give him to us because you can't handle him or because you don't got no talking points. Don't just, oh, you gay. Everybody gay. Like, is it an insult or is it a good thing? Like, it seems like it's cool to be gay when they're your friends, they're your family members, but when you want to throw insults, they're gay. I'm trying to figure out at what point in time do we get back to saying, you know what? You're right. Hold them accountable. You know what's so funny? I did a video. And I was talking about, you know what I'm saying, it was kind of going off of what Kwame Brown said in regards to saying, you know, how negative the black YouTube space has become or whatever case may be. And I tagged people in it, man. And when I say motherfuckers was in an uproar, oh, hell no, why you tagged? And I'm just like, what's your opinion on it? See, when you feel like you're a part of the problem, you know what I'm saying? Oh, so hell no, hell. But my thought process is, if you tag me in a video, obviously you want me to see the video, check it out, and give my perspective. That's what I would think. You see what I'm saying? But I just seen people was just like, you know, and that's why I was asking Kwame, and he did a response video, whatever. So salute to that or whatever. But I was asking him. I said, is it better to talk specifically or talk in generalized? Because I think when you talk specifically, people understand. Hey, look, I'm holding you accountable. I'm holding you accountable. So anybody I'm subscribed to, I'm like, okay, well, let me tag y'all in this so y'all can see, you know, what's being said, so y'all can be a part of the conversation and help push positivity. And it was just like, yeah, man, listen, y'all had to read the comment. Y'all got to go back and see the comment. It was just like, why you tag me? Oh my God. Like, if you're not the people promoting negativity, then why would you care? care? You understand what I'm saying? Why would you care? If you're not about the fuckery and foolery and shenanigans, then why would you care? But my thought process is, I'm gonna be honest with you. If tough love tags you in something, it's with all due respect. It's with all due respect. So don't get what they say, don't get your panties in a bunch or whatever case may be. The thought process is, like I said, when you have a big channel holder that says, oh, well, it's a lot of negativity on social media, or especially in the black sector. If I say, okay, well, shit, I think the same thing. Let me tag some people that I'm subscribed to and say, what do y'all think about it? That's fair and impartial. To me, that's fair and impartial. But see, here's the thing. We got a whole lot of people like Mama Duck that regardless of what you say and how you say it, they will not be held responsible. They will not take any accountability. And it's sad because it's at the expense of children. We always talk about protecting children. Brother Polite, we got to allegedly protect them from Brother Polite. We got to protect them from R. Kelly's, but we ain't got to protect them from Mama Duck. We ain't got to do that. 1 child, 2 child, 3. We ain't got to do nothing. Let that lady live her best life at the expense of other people's lives. Let her children wreak havoc on other people's kids, take them from this world, shoot them, smack them, promote violence, promote drugs, womanizing, etc., 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 promoting that generational curse. And we shouldn't hold nobody responsible. Be quiet, act like we don't see it, and focus on R. Kelly and Brother Polite. How dare we hold a woman responsible? Matter of fact, because you're talking about a woman, you hate all black women. That's the counter to that. If you say something to a black woman, you hate all black women. But if you say something to a black man, he won't accept accountability. He won't accept responsibility. He is not man enough. That's a hell of a counter. That's a hell of a counter. And I sit back and I watch the different conversations that go on, and I watch the different counters that people use to debunk information and try to one up in the conversation. And my thought process is, Mama Duck, if your first statement was, I have advocated to stop the violence. I have, moved my children. I have, worked in the community centers. I have, asked the vice lords and the GDs and the Latin Kings and the Crips and the Bloods and MS-13. And, I've asked them to cease fire and stop killing these young men and women. None of that came out your mouth. None of that came out your mouth. But now when the son that kind of got a little famous for doing some hellacious shit, now you're an activist. Why are we so afraid to hold people accountable? And why do we have to like the person in order to listen to the message? Listen to the message. If Mama Duck can live her best life at the expense of her children, then why can't we live our best life holding people accountable? Because we don't want our children to go down that road. We don't want our children to be a part of that. Not our nieces and nephews, not our friends' kids, hell, not even our enemy kids. Nobody wants to sit down and say, you lost how many kids? Let me tell y'all knucklehead ass something. You hit your fucking foot at the end of the bed every day. Every day you get up and go to the bathroom, and every time you come back, for some reason, you keep hitting your damn foot. Are you waiting until you break it? Do it need to be broken and you in pain and trying to heal till you realize, well, maybe I either should stop walking that way, I should get a new bed, I should put some cushion around it, I should do something about it. Not one interview have I heard her say she did something about it. I don't give a shit if it's 5 kids or 10 kids. 1 kid is too many. 1 kid is too many. 1 kid. Everybody, oh, no, she only had 5 kids, or she didn't even have 5 kids, or she had 10. I don't care. 1 kid. If we're going to promote, it's important to make sure our children are safe. Why we got to, oh, it was this many. No, it was more than 1. It was 1. We got to get to a point where we're promoting zero tolerance for shit. We got to get to a point where there is zero tolerance for shit. When we keep on trying to say, well, we're going to make excuses. We're going to turn the other cheek because it's this person. Oh, yeah, everybody like this person, so we ain't going to say nothing about that person. We're not going to hold that person accountable. And then we're going to pick and choose who we want to hold accountable. It's a lot of people holding R. Kelly responsible for some shit. They still don't know that's true or not. But Mama Duck clearly says, I've been dating young men for a long time. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. How did these young men help you save your children? How did they help you leave the city of Chicago? How did they help stop the violence? You're dating young men out there that are doing the same thing as your children were doing, allegedly. Bringing them in the household around your children. And if the conversation that I heard you having with one of your friends' enemies, if that's the conversation that you're having with these young men, bruh, whoo, yikes. Nobody's off limits. Can you imagine your mother sleeping with people your age? Sleeping with people at your job, sleeping at people at your school. Can you imagine your mother being so interested in younger men? You know what's so funny, man? I've seen women who have sons, right? Especially if they play football or whatever case may be. And I always used to see like those women invite like the whole team to their house or whatever case may be. And it was like all men except that one woman. And I always used to think that was odd. Like because it was a frequent thing. And it wasn't like she was the team mom type shit. It was like, and like rubbing them on the shoulders or what. Because I was on a team like that. And I was just like, this seems kind of odd, seems kind of weird. And I didn't get the psychology of it until I got older and went to college. And I was like, oh, that was some cougar shit. That was some mama duck shit. She picking them off. And then for her not to realize how wrong that was, she was saying, why wouldn't my son want to see me happy? So you mean to tell me you can't find nobody your age to be happy? There's nobody your age. You got to get someone who's less developed. Uh-oh. You got to get someone that's not quite reached their peak yet. Somebody you can groom. You should have been grooming your kids. That should have been the primary focus. Now, let's not be naive. Understand people want to go get their rocks off and they want to go do certain things. I get it. But the fact of the matter is, you are on the hunt. You was on the hunt. And how did that pay off for you? How did it pay off? Somebody got to talk sensible. See, I ain't calling you out your name and I ain't, doing all that other crazy stuff. But I'm telling you right now, even though some of the delivery that I heard towards you was kind of raspy, I really saw the fact that you did nothing. You said nothing in the defense of you. Everything was about cursing people out and trying to overtalk them and all this other. And that might work in your house. Right? That might work at a hood party. Right? It might even work on a grocery store for the grand world star. It might work, right? Because a lot of people, for some reason, they think the louder they are and the more they curse, the more powerful they become. But really, it showcases a sign of weakness, a sign of insecurity. So my thought process is this. These are your children. You should be able to articulate exactly what you did. And it's not about defense. It's about setting the record straight. For some reason, when you got the opportunity to set the record straight, you went off on a tangent instead of just saying, hey, I advocated for my children to stay safe and be nonviolent. You want people to shoot at other people because they made commentary about your son. How is that nonviolence? How is that promoted? You want more violence because your son got murdered, but didn't want to stop the violence when your son was doing the violence. It's all hot air says she didn't want a real man, she wanted a boy. You're dating men your son age? Now, imagine a conversation talking to somebody dating a grandmother. You got children my age. I'm dating a grandma, and you got children my age. Imagine a conversation. Imagine the toxic level, the narcissistic level, like just the whole vibe. I got to see this dude every day in my class, at my job, on my team, and you smashing this guy. And if I got your mama in the hucklebuck, and I see you every day, we the same age. She said, why do people care about my personal life? I don't care about your personal life. I don't care about your personal life. I care about the fact that you allowed your son to go and commit acts of violence, and you didn't try to stop him or advocate then. But when that same violence now comes back around for him, now it's this fake advocacy conversation. And it's like, well, along with the advocacy, you're also talking about, well, now I'm gonna take down. Oh, why didn't you want to take down O Block before? I don't get it. Why didn't you want to stop the violence, stop the drugs, stop the womanization, stop the negativity? Why didn't you want to do it before? Why didn't you want to take the shit down when your son was growing up? That's when you get into the mix. That's when you go live. You know what? Somebody said, I don't know if it was Hassan or Tommy, one of them guys, that said you got famous off of your son's death. You got famous for being the mother that have lost their kids to gun violence or to gang violence. That is your claim to fame. Tiff Love says Mama Duck was a part of the BS. I believe that. Her energy, her verbiage, whether she's talking like this one-on-one or she's talking in an interview, the verbiage is just like, I'm so ready I'm so for the streets. I'm so for the streets, and whatever happened. And you raise your kids with that mentality too. And here's the thought process. It's always about one up in the next man. How many bodies you got? Okay, I'm about to go drop 3 more too. It's always about outdoing the next person. You fostered an environment that was fatal. You fostered an environment that was fatal. Not only to your children, but to the children that's around in your community. And now my thought process is, you don't get a standing ovation. You don't get a pat on the back. You might get your tears wiped, but at the end of the day, you look at it and say, this was a parent failure. This wasn't the streets. This wasn't gangs. This was you. This was you. The streets took my kids. No, you took your kids. You took them to the streets. Hell, you brought young men from the streets to your house, allegedly. So you say. You are the Alpha and Omega. You were the queen. You was the head. You was the bad bitch. You was a savage. And you use none of those titles. Well, let me say this. All of those titles should not outweigh the title of mother. You went in and you said that you provided for your kids. And everybody think that the materialistic things were so like, oh God, I gave them somewhere to sleep and I made sure the lights was on. And that's cool. That's cool. But when you're doing stuff for your kids, that's called being an adult. My thought process is we talking about, their livelihood outside the home. Having your kids know all the dope dealers in the city, not cool. Having your sons around criminals, not cool. Selling drugs, not cool. Shooting guns, promoting gangs, not cool. But the issue is that I'm so tired of us keep on going at one another. Because there are some positive men and there's some positive women, and we just really want the best, man. We all go through shit from time to time. Hell, some people going through some shit right now. But to see a blatant disrespect and disregard for the raising of your children, knowing that they were in a violent situation, knowing that they was in a hostile environment, and say your best thing is to curse somebody out. That's your defense. I'm gonna curse you out if you holding me responsible. No. That shit don't fly. That shit don't fly. So whereas you can talk about the Hassan Campbell, you can talk about the Tommy Sotomayors or whatever, it's different when tough love comes at you. Because I don't have to disrespect you and turn up. The thought process though remains the same regardless of what man is talking. The message is still the same. You lack responsibility and accountability for something that you should have been accountable and responsible for. Providing just the bare necessities. Okay, well, hey, they had toothpaste to brush their teeth. I'm good. I did my job. And then take them to the grandparents' house and say, hey, do what you can. I'll be back. So who do we hold responsible? The grandparents, or do we hold the parents responsible? It is not the grandparents' fucking responsibility to raise your kids. If you are one of those people that says, I'm going to let my mama raise you, I'm going to let my grandpapa raise you, don't have kids. Don't have kids. I don't know which content creator said it, but here's the thing. If you don't have the love for that child, like you have such a disdain for the father, such a disdain for the mama, don't have a kid. Because you know what's so funny? And I just thought about this. If I don't love my children, right? But I don't respect the fact that, they're born or whatever case may be, and I don't respect the mom and I don't respect the dad or whatever, you know what? The end result would be something like Mama Ducks. Because I wouldn't care. I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't have the love to care, the need to care. Like as long as I do the bare necessities, I'm good. Mama Duck, you shouldn't have to feel like you on trial. Because the first time one of your children have died by gang violence or whatever, and you did your first live, your first interview, right? Whether it's face-to-face or on the camera, whatever case it be, you know what you should have been saying? Enough is enough. I don't want to see any more kids die. put the guns down. If anything, go to the boxing ring and box that shit out. But we need to stop the violence. Mama Duck, I ain't seen none of that. I ain't seen none of that. And your son's legacy is bullshit. Your son's legacy is bullshit. And for you to believe that it's something phenomenal, oh God, all the kids should be like this. No, they shouldn't. Black men, no, you shouldn't. Black women who love that type of man, no, you shouldn't. So to be promoting this shit like he did something phenomenal is fuck shit. Acting like what he died for, died doing, we as black people need to cheer. No, we don't need to fucking cheer. That was stupid. And that stupidity led to his demise. And for you to sit down and not think that you had anything to do with that shit is delusional as fuck. This is the conversation Cynthia G needs to have. Nyla Says need to have. Taz Exclusive need to have. Red Supreme need to have. Because I see other people having it, and we do a great job at saying, black men ain't shit. Where the black men? Cool. Cool. Every child that Mama Duck had a baby by should have been involved. Right? I don't know who the fuck they are. Should they have been involved? Hell yeah. It's about being fair and impartial over here. You goddamn right. Make no excuse about that. If you can't be in the household, try to be connected to the household. Let's not make no excuses for black men. But the thought process is, who is in the house? Who is in the house? Your ass not going outside. You're not going to watch TV. You're not going to bring guns and drugs in my house. We got to stop picking and choosing who we want to hold accountable. It's All Hot Air says, she is promoting more violence in my opinion. You are goddamn right. You are damn. Don't worry about Hassan Campbell. Don't worry about what this YouTuber is saying. In real life, you losing. In real life, you taking a real L. When it comes to your kids, not everybody can say, I lost 5 kids to gun violence or gang violence or just lost 5 kids, period, regardless of whatever it is. Not everybody can say that. You gotta, Mama Duck, take your time and get your thoughts together. And do a live without you wilding the hell out, cursing people the hell out, and send a message that's going to resonate with everybody. I lost my kids. I'm grieving right now. So I'm lashing out and I'm just saying shit or whatever. But the thought process is, you know the opposition. You're there. You see them. You probably can drop all types of names right now. Not right now. Right now. Get their ass down to a local church, a community center, call their ass up. I want to meet with all the gang leaders. This is why I feel like we need to stop this bullshit. And if you can't do it, call me. I'll come talk to him. Fuck it, I'll do it. The fact of the matter is, it's like you're promoting more discord than you are promoting the stoppage of violence. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mario J. This is Tough Love. Until next time, stop the violence. Peace. I'll holler at y'all.